Hey, hey. There. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you guys doing tonight? My name is Laura, aka PURPLEXEDQT. Whew. I am exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. So we did Christmas tonight, and yeah. You can hear me now, right? You should be able to hear me now. It shows it's working. Is it working? Is it working now? 1, 2, 3, blast. Can someone answer me? Can you hear me? All right. So we're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. We got 40 minutes until Banfield. We know how I like Banfield. Got to watch my Banfield every night. Tonight, because it is the last time I'm streaming before Christmas, we are going for 20 tonight. We did 10 last time and doing 20 tonight. That is 20 donations, 10 memberships, get someone a free candle, and 17 more subs till I get back in the positive instead of in the negative. So that's what we're going for tonight. 20 super chats or super stickers, 10 memberships, and 15 subs. That's what we're going for. So I got a lot to say, though. First, I want to say, for anyone that's confused about let's have some fun, I'm talking about a spirit box. Spirit boxes are phony, guys. They're not real. If they were real, the same voice would come through. But if you compare voices, it's always a different voice of allegedly the same person. Okay? That's what I meant we're going to have some fun with, because I'm going to show you how fake it is. But let's have some fun with it. Watch, a real ghost comes through and I freak the fuck out. Now that would be classic. That would be funny shit. But yeah, I'm 100% convinced they're phony. Thank you, Stone. Stone starts it off with 1. 19 left. 10 months, Clarissa. Woo woo. No, go back to the original stream? No, it's always subscribers only because it keeps out the bots. That's why everyone does subscribers only. It has nothing to do with getting subscribers. It has to do with the bots can't get in. Thank you, Sissy. That's 18. Yeah, that's 2 down. We need 18 more. Thank you, Tam Tam. Yeah, we did all our gifts tonight. I was listening to Zap Girl before, and I had a new theory, and I'll be honest with you, I completely forgot what it was. I really did. I totally forgot what it was. I don't even remember. I can't even pretend that I remember, because I don't remember. I knew I should have wrote it down or went into Patreon and said something. I cannot remember what it was. I really can't. But I had a new theory. Maybe after Banfield, it'll come to me. Elon Musk has this set on 15 years. Was YouTube even going there? What do you mean? What, you can't comment unless you're there for 15 years? That's a little odd. So, I really wish I could remember this dang theory. So I came to your stream, a stream for the community, one has to pay. What are you talking about? A stream for the community, one has to pay. You don't have to pay to be here. Oh my God, this is bugging me. I can't remember. It was good too. I honestly, I don't remember. My mind is a complete blank. I'm just glad Christmas is over. And tomorrow vacation begins. You have to have been subscribed for 15 years. Okay. That's a long time. Very long time. Maybe I should play some of Zap's Girl. Maybe it'll remind me. Oh, I know what it was. I know. Okay. So everybody talks about Jack D. And that they believe that it was Jack D that did it. Okay. So what I was thinking, Jack D has no motive to do it. None. Even if he was fighting with Kaylee, that doesn't equate for the others. And why not kill the other two then? He's already done 4. Why not kill the other 2? I have not been able to come up with a solid why as to why Jack D would do it. There's nothing in his past. There's nothing where he was violent. There is nothing that states that he would, this is his personality. Nothing. Therefore, I personally am 100% unequivocally taking Jack D out of the equation. There's just no motive. There's no motive for him to kill everybody in the house. There's no motive for him to want Kaylee dead. There's just no motive. And if I'm right about Kaylee and Maddie, hey Coffee, if I'm right about Kaylee and Maddie, Spirit Box says Ethan was target and 3 people were involved and it's something to do with frat. Stone Gator, that's not Spirit Box. That's 4chan. That's exactly what 4chan says. Hey millennials. I saw millennials in Zap Girl. Stone, that's exactly what Casey Anthony, that is exactly what was said on 4chan. That it was 3 people were involved. Those 3 people involved were Loach's friend, and this girl Bridget. And yes, it had to do with the fraternity, and Ethan was the target. That's all 4chan. That's not a Spirit Box. Just saying. So, and you're not going to hear me deny that Ethan was the target, but what you just said is exactly what 4chan said. It was 2 guys and a girl. The girl was Bridget. So, yeah. Let the Spirit Box tell me something that's not out there already, or that's not common sense. And maybe a lot of people don't realize that is what 4chan said, but yeah, that's 4chan info, not a Spirit Box. Just saying. But as I was saying, I have not been able to put any connection with Jack D. So I'm going to go against the grain here and say I absolutely do not think it was Jack D. And I also think he would have been in custody already. 100%. No, I haven't seen it, Stoned. No, Stone, honestly, I'm sure a lot of people would run with that and believe that and be like, oh my God, I know that, because a lot of people believe in Spirit Boxes. I don't. Yeah, I was going to check that out too, millennials. I'm glad you reminded me. I guess Gray had an interview. I don't know if it was Gray. I saw it came up on Gray's thing. But I don't know if Gray had an interview or it was somewhere else. JD was meant to be the protector, but couldn't. He'd be killed. Miss G, I totally agree. 100% agree. They keep saying individual, though. That's because I believe there was one knife. That's why I think they keep saying individual, because there was one knife. So, when I think of everything with Jack D, I think of everything 4chan said. I think of just everything in the totality of everything. And I go back to, I think it's a serial killer. I think it is someone unknown. Either that or 4chan's theory. And the reason I'm saying that is the only reason those 2 girls were kept alive downstairs is one of 2 reasons. They either knew them and they knew what was going to happen, or B, the killer had no idea they were even in the house. Those are the only two possibilities that it could be. They spared him for life, or they didn't know they were there. I'm 50-50 on both. I legit cannot tell you either way which one I lean more towards, because I am split right down the middle, 50-50. Oh, I did see that, Stoned. And that's not a bad thought, but I think they would have found it already. JD was trying to give her space. Unfortunately, it wasn't going to matter. And that's another thing. You know, we don't know who broke up with who. We don't know their relationship or what happened, or, you know, where they were going after college. We have no idea. And it would be wrong of us to even try to guess, especially with our age and wisdom, to even try to guess what's going on in the mind of 21-year-olds who are graduating college. I wouldn't even try to take a stab at it. No pun intended. Bad wording. The bedroom doors are behind the stairs to go upstairs. I don't think they knew that they were where they were. Went in the slider out the front. I'm with you, Janelle. I really am. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. I still can't get 4chan out of my head. That theory so far is the only one that makes perfect sense to me. The only one. There's not another one that makes perfect sense. It's just not. I don't know why I can't get it out of my head, because I'm not one for these conspiracies or, you know, talking crap online. But 4chan theory was the only one that mapped everything out and every dot connected. So I can't rule that out yet. I really, truly can't. And nothing has made me rule it out yet. So when people ask me, like, why, you know, what's your theory? What do you think? What do you believe? I feel dumb even saying it, but I can't seem to stray away from 4chan. I just can't. And if that was completely made up, then so be it. But every single dot connected. Everything fit. So is it really made up? I don't know. I truly do not know, but it makes sense. There are things that need to be answered. Why were the survivors spared? Who had the code for door locks? Find whoever hurt the rabbit and the dog. That's a good starting point. And that's another thing. The cops think that it's not related. Why? Why do they believe it's not related? How do they know it's not related? How do they know it's not some psychopath? Why did somebody skin a dog? I don't know. It got changed. I don't believe in spirit boxes. Spirit boxes are pre-programmed. And I saw somebody wrote that in chat because I was listening for a minute. And then I don't know if they got deleted, but I didn't see them again. What did the spirit box say tonight? So does anyone know, did Banfield have on the interview with the guy? Because she's on in like 20 minutes. And we know I can't miss my Banfield with her 1,500 commercials. Hang on one second. Now I'm going to take a clip. Oh, here it is. Breaking. All right. So it is on Banfield, but let's watch it anyway. We could watch it twice. Oh, Stone, you said you were kidding. I got changed. Let me tell you about that spirit box session, quote unquote. The spirit box section just repeated exactly what 4chan wrote. So, yeah. They took what 4chan wrote and said exactly what it was. Oh, yesterday? Yeah, I heard somebody ask about incels. Who did they... Oh, they asked about Enon. I don't think Enon's an incel. They showed an article of a widow with a knife on campus either this year or a year ago. I saw it just as I was going to sleep. All right, let's check this out.
News tonight, 40 days into the University of Idaho murders, and the driver, who was likely the very last man to see Maddie Mogen and Kaylee Gonzalez alive, is speaking to News Nation tonight. The Uber driver who brought the kids home the night of the murders, Kaylee's family reported that their daughter had indeed ordered an Uber, and now the man who drove them is revealing exclusive details to us about that ride home and what the girls said in the back of that car. News Nation correspondent Alex Capriello is live tonight. He tracked him down. He joins me from outside the home in Moscow. That was a very difficult task. Tell me what you found out, Alex.
Yeah, I was able to find this rideshare driver. He's one of only about 4 here in the Moscow area. So I was able to track down that phone number and give him a call personally, speak to him. I asked him point blank, hey, are you the guy who drove Kaylee and Maddie home that night? And to his credit, he was very transparent, very honest, very open, almost immediately with me.
Well, understandably, he has said, Alex, that he is very concerned. It's a small community. He doesn't want to be on camera, but he was very revealing in what he told you about that ride home. Start there. What did the girls talk about in the back seat?
Well, he said that it was actually a rather innocent conversation from the beginning. You might remember that he picked up these 2 girls from that grub truck. It's the food truck that's located right in downtown Moscow. And really, he said that was the center of their conversation. The entire 5-minute ride home was about their mac and cheese carbonara that they were planning on splitting when they got back to the house. He said that he's picked them up in the past, not only these 2 girls, but Xana as well. And he said that in the past, they've talked about boys and drama and college life, but not this time around. It was just a very normal, innocent conversation about their food and how they were going to share.
Okay, I know I'm tired, but please correct me that did she or did she not just say that it was very revealing? Please tell me what was so revealing. They were talking about mac and cheese. How is that so revealing? Can someone explain this to me? I mean, did I hear her wrong or did she actually say that? Because I don't get what the big deal was. How is that so revealing? So I know I'm tired. Maybe I heard that wrong, but I don't think I heard that wrong.
Share it when they got home.
So that's also revealing that he knew them. He had had them in the car multiple times before. This is a small town. So if they've taken an Uber a couple of times, it would be likely that he'd be the driver. And he said, indeed, he knew them. He knew all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He said that obviously, as one of only about 4 rideshare drivers in this area, he picks up these girls a lot. And not to mention, we already know that this is so close to frat row. And of course, we've reported that this is a party house. So a lot of times students would come here. And so he said that Xana, that Kaylee and Maddie were no strangers to them. He's given them rides home from the bars, home from work, home from school. So he knows them. He has driven them before. But back again to this, he said that there was nothing out of the ordinary that night, that right now or in that moment, that it was just an innocent conversation. Of course, the frats were bumping on a Saturday night, but here at the house, it was quiet and he saw nothing out of the usual.
So as you reported earlier this week, Alex, the last thing that we heard on tape was the surveillance camera showing Maddie and Kaylee walking from the Corner Club bar to the grub truck, and the only thing we could hear was.
You know, some people like watching train wrecks. That's how I feel about Banfield. I don't particularly care for her, but I can't seem to not watch her. Make that make sense. And I know that drama people feel like that about Trainwreck. She's not a train wreck, but for some reason, I can't stop watching her. I want to watch her every night. I don't know why. And I can admit that.
As Maddie, what did you tell Adam? And then Maddie responds, I told Adam everything. Was there any conversation in the back of the Uber car about Adam or the bartender? Because Adam turned out to be the bartender. Did he mention anything like that?
Yeah, actually, the rideshare driver said that he knows Adam. He knows he's a bartender, but Adam was not brought up once at all during that conversation. Again, no conversations about boys, drama, or any trouble as far as what the girls were feeling. He said they were not fearful. They weren't skittish in any way. But back to the food truck, also, I asked him about that. Hey, you were right there. Did you see anything out of the ordinary there? And he said, no, it was a Saturday night at the food truck, a bunch of college kids hanging out, ordering their food before heading home. You know, I brought up another person a lot of people have speculated about, the hoodie guy he's been referenced as. He said he didn't see that guy. He has no indication that anything was wrong there at the food truck, and certainly during that entire rideshare home, no indication that anything was wrong there, rather.
Okay, then what about the police? Because clearly I would have imagined the police have a lot more, machinery and technological ability than sometimes we do to track people down. I assume that the police would have found him and that they would have talked. What did he say about being able to tell everything he told you to the police?
Right. Yeah, this was super interesting to me because he said that he didn't hear about the murders until the next day. And he realized, oh my gosh, these are the two girls that I had driven home, and I've driven home in the past. And so he was stewing on that for a little bit, but he was the one who eventually turned himself over to the police by calling the tip line saying, hey, I was the one who drove these girls home. The police tells the rideshare driver that they already knew he was the driver, but even still, he was the one who called in himself and said, hey, I was that guy. That being said, when he did that, called the tip line, he turned over all of his GPS coordinates from that night, sharing that he went to Taco Bell after dropping the girls off and then went home. And so that's the reason why he was cleared almost immediately, never been named as a suspect or persons of interest, because all the data that he provided to the police proves that he was not there at this house at the time that these murders allegedly happened.
So the other question is, as you are standing almost, I imagine, in the same spot where they were dropped off, did he mention anything about the drop-off that was unusual? Anybody in the parking lot? Did he drive into the parking lot? Did he hear something, see something, pass anybody?
Actually, the only thing he said was that he heard the frats doing their normal partying, but everything else seemed quiet, seemed normal. There were no headlights. There was no one following him. He says he's got a great memory, and he would know whether or not anyone was trailing him or if there was anything suspicious at all. As far as the drop-off, he said that he brought them right up the street here on King Road and dropped them off here at the foot of the driveway. He never pulls actually into the driveway because he says, based on his training, he always wants to be able to have a quick getaway in the event that something bad happens to him, like he gets robbed on the side of the road. But he dropped them off here on King Road. He watched them get out of the car. He did not watch them physically go into the home, but he said that he trusted that they were going to be safe because he's driven them so many other times, and he knew that these two girls were together.
Thank you for watching. Go to News.
I don't know how revealing that is. Didn't seem very revealing to me. But I get whoever said it before. I totally agree with that maybe the fact that nothing was going on is what was revealing. That's definitely possible. I'll go with that theory. So I guess the full Banfield is on in 10 more minutes. By the way, I don't want to forget, because I kind of did forget, there was a shooting at Mall of America tonight. One person's dead. They have it under control. There's not a lot of info on it, but that is pretty breaking news. If a driver's afraid of being robbed by the side of the road, it seems like a likely... No, for us, I think that goes with any driver. Even Domino's people get robbed. So I think that's smart thinking for an Uber, actually. You know, always have a clean getaway. Because it is 3 o'clock in the morning and you never know. And honestly, it's not up to an Uber driver to watch and see if... It's not up to an Uber driver to see if somebody gets in the house. I mean, a friend would do it, but I don't really see an Uber driver doing it. Last I knew, there was 1 dead. Can't shooters take Christmas weekend off? No, it's probably why they do it. Because it's Christmas weekend. No mention of ditching hoodie guy, no. See, but being that the driver didn't see anybody around and didn't think anybody around, didn't notice any weird cars, makes me go back to it wasn't a serial killer. Because a serial killer may have been looking around. But at the same time, the Uber guy really wasn't paying attention to shady people in the background. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, serial killer, he may have noticed. Maybe. That was another thing I thought of. And this, like, I haven't really connected the dots with this one, but I have thought about it. So the police say that they died around 3, 4 o'clock. Did they go out again? I know they got home at, the cab driver may have dropped them off at 2. Did they walk somewhere? Thank you, sweet Carolyn. Could they have possibly left again and then followed home by someone who then killed them? Did they have cars? Could they have driven somewhere and then come back? All right, so Justice Jane was gifted a membership. Matcha was gifted a membership. Cusseau was gifted a membership. Simply E. Pauline F. Lacey, woo woo. Diane, woo woo. Sasha B. And Kiki Canadian Chick. Welcome to the best membership out there. Willow, I know they're not real. But somebody has 1,000 people watching them with one. So we're gonna do one for a spoof after Banfield. Was surviving roommates' cars? Why didn't they tow them too? Well, we saw the police cleaning off one of them. Police was cleaning off one of them to give back to the family. But I'm just saying, like, what if they left again? And they went somewhere, and wherever they went, they were followed home. And like I said, I haven't been able to connect the dots with this. It's just something that hit me. Is it possible? Hey, One Juror Matters. Is it possible that they left? Is it possible that one of the roommates gave them a ride somewhere? Is it possible that... You know what I'm saying? Like... We don't know. Is it possible? It's possible. Is it probable? Maybe. I don't know. But it's just something I was thinking about. Like, you know what? You never know. Maybe Ethan drove him somewhere. Hi, you too, Leslie. Weren't they drinking? It doesn't mean they didn't do it. Or maybe they called somebody. Maybe that's why she was calling Jack for something. Maybe they were calling Jack because they got stuck somewhere and someone else gave them a ride. Hey, Rad, someone else gave them a ride. I don't know. I'm just thinking that there's much more possibilities than the narrow-minded thinking of so many people, and Jack D did it. And everything is the way the cops saying. But no, everything is not the way the cops are saying. Hey, Wilhelmina, happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. And almost Happy New Year. But you know what I'm saying? Like, is it possible? It kind of is. And it makes me think, it is possible. Likely? Probably not, but definitely possible. I don't even know why I like her, Melissa. I really don't. Kind of like my daughter. I don't know why I like her either. Okay, I don't think so, Laura. No way they would have been asleep by 3:04. They got home at 1:56. Started calling Jack at 2:26. Okay, so Pippi, what if... Now, again, this is just a what if. What if they called Jack for a ride to get something? Jack couldn't take them, but somebody else did. Possible? Yeah, I thought it would have been solved already too, Leslie. You know what I mean? Is it possible? Maybe. I'm not going to rule it out. Maybe that's why they were calling Jack so much. Now, one thing we don't know, and I really don't think we can ever even find out. Oh yeah, it's 9 degrees here. Is it possible that whoever killed them actually gave them a ride and got back to the house, and instead of dropping them off, dropped them off and then killed them? Maybe?
What the hell are you talking about?
A case. They called Jack because Adam told them what Maddie told them everything about. Possible, but I don't think, Elizabeth, I don't think that Maddie, I think that was about Maddie. I don't think it was about Kaylee. Everyone thinks it was about Kaylee. I don't. I think that had to do with Maddie. And Kaylee was just being a friend, like, oh my God, you told him, what did you tell Adam? I told Adam everything. For some reason, something in my gut tells me that had to do with Maddie. That had nothing to do with Kaylee. Kaylee just couldn't believe that Maddie told him. Because remember, these were girls that could, like, finish each other's sentences. So you can't just assume that it was something bad against Kaylee. Came back and inside with the girls and waited for them to go to sleep. Exactly. Maybe something like that. See, Millennial, I love you. I'm glad somebody has the exact, like, thinking that I do. Because it's very far and few between, Millennial. I'll tell you that much. Most people see it differently. Most people want the sensationalism, the I don't knows, the confusion. It seems to be what majority of people in this case like. Taco Bell receipt. There was a Taco Bell receipt? From what time? His words are strange. Wonder what was all in that convo. I agree. But I don't know if Maddie was the target specifically. But something just isn't right. I don't know what. Just something. What's your thoughts then, dear? Why Maddie? Because I think of two girls that are like best friends, okay? Maddie could have cheated on somebody with Adam. Or Maddie and Adam could have had a thing going. And then the Uber driver got Taco Bell after dropping them off. Oh. Taco Bell for himself? Hey, Shelby. Taco Bell for himself? Or Taco Bell for them? All right, so let me finish my comment. Banfield's going to start in a minute. But I just feel like that two girls talking could very easily say, hey, it was, Maddie was having an affair, or Maddie was cheating, or Maddie liked Adam, and Adam didn't know that she got back with her boyfriend or something. And then she said, "What'd you tell Adam?" And Maddie's like, "I told him everything." To me, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, New Banfield Ducks. Maybe one of them had a crush on Adam. That's what I'm saying. Says Ethan was... I've always said Ethan was the target. But I'm just telling you that spirit box, the only thing that spirit box showed was 4chan's logic, 4chan's theory. That's all it did. If a spirit box is real, and after Banfield, we'll use one for a little while. If a spirit box is real, they know who the killer is. Then say it. Compare this spirit box to the last spirit box and show me that the voices are exactly the same. Because even when you die, your voice isn't going to change from one spirit to the next. You're always going to be the same energy. You don't have a mouth to speak. You're a ball of energy. So that's why the whole thing always made me laugh. Because it's not, you don't have vocal cords. You can't just be like, you know, "Hey, what's up, homie?" You don't have vocal cords when you die. So that's also why I don't believe the whole spirit box. And I do believe in the afterlife, don't get me wrong. But I believe that we are energy, not vocal cords, in order to speak. So, let me believe a spirit box. They're real just like Santa Claus is. No, I'm telling you, they are programmed. That's why you always have to ask questions, and then it'll pick up words that you're saying that's programmed backwards, and then it picks up different words you're saying, and it'll pick up random words. It'll spit out random words. That's just the way spirit boxes work. Everyone thinks a spirit box is just like white noise. It's not. Exactly. Spirit box for lottery numbers. Tell me something I don't know. See, but that's also why I believe in mediums more than I do a spirit box. Because a medium isn't telling you that you hear a voice. A medium is telling you, it's just feeling what somebody is saying. Big difference. Hold on. Why is this playing? Come on, play it. What the fuck? There we go.
Last man to see Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez alive is speaking to News Nation tonight. The Uber driver who brought the kids home the night of the murders, Kaylee's family.
Oh my God, my fucking internet. Let's go, you piece of shit.
Reported that their daughter had indeed ordered an Uber, and now the man who drove them is revealing exclusive details to us about that ride home and what the girls said in the back of that car. News Nation correspondent Alex Capriello is live tonight. He tracked him down. He joins me from outside the home in Moscow. That was a very difficult task. Tell me what you found out, Alex.
Yeah, I was able to find this rideshare driver. He's one of only about 4 here in the Moscow area. So I was able to track down that phone number and give him a call personally, speak to him. I asked him point blank, "Hey, are you the guy who drove Kaylee and Maddie home that night?" And to his credit, he was very transparent, very honest, very open, almost immediately with me.
Well, understandably, he has said, Alex, that he is very concerned. It's a small community. He doesn't want to be on camera, but he was very revealing in what he told you about that ride home. Start there. What did the girls talk about in the back seat?
Well, he said that it was actually a rather innocent conversation from the beginning. You might remember that he picked up these two girls from that grub truck. It's the food truck that's located right in downtown Moscow. And really, he said that was the center of their conversation. The entire 5-minute ride home was about their mac and cheese carbonara that they were planning on splitting when they got back to the house. He said that he's picked them up in the past, not only these two girls, but Xana as well. And he said that in the past, they've talked about boys and drama and college life, but not this time around. It was just a very normal, innocent conversation about their food and how they were going to share it when they got home.
So that's also revealing that he knew them. He had had them in the car multiple times before. This is a small town. So if they've taken an Uber a couple of times, it would be likely that he'd be the driver. And he said, indeed, he knew them. He knew all three of them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He said that obviously, as one of only about 4 rideshare drivers in this area, he picks up these girls a lot. And not to mention, we already know that this is so close to frat row. And of course, we've reported that this is a party house. So a lot of times students would come here. And so he said that Xana, that Kaylee and Maddie were no strangers to them. He's given them rides home from the bars, home from work, home from school. So he knows them. He has driven them before. But back again to this, he said that there was nothing out of the ordinary that night, that right now or in that moment, that it was just an innocent conversation. Of course, the frats were bumping on a Saturday night, but here at the house, it was quiet and he saw nothing out of the usual.
So, as you reported earlier this week, Alex, the last thing that we heard on tape was the surveillance camera showing Maddie and Kaylee walking from the Corner Club bar to the grub truck. And the only thing we could hear was, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? And then Maddie responds, I told Adam everything. Was there any conversation in the back of the Uber car about Adam or the bartender? Because Adam turned out to be the bartender. Did you mention anything like that?
Yeah, actually, the rideshare driver said that he knows Adam. He knows he's a bartender, but Adam was not brought up once at all during that conversation. Again, no conversations about boys, drama, or any trouble. And as far as what the girls were feeling, he said they were not fearful. They weren't skittish in any way. But back to the food truck, also, I asked him about that. Hey, you were right there. Did you see anything out of the ordinary there? And he said, no, it was a Saturday night at the food truck, a bunch of college kids hanging out, ordering their food before heading home. You know, I brought up another person a lot of people have speculated about, the hoodie guy he's been referenced as. He said he didn't see that guy. He has no indication that anything was wrong there at the food truck. And certainly during that entire rideshare home, no indication that anything was wrong there, rather.
Okay, then what about the police? Because clearly I would have imagined the police have a lot more, machinery and technological ability than sometimes we do to track people down. I assume that the police would have found him and that they would have talked. What did he say about being able to tell everything he told you to the police?
Right. Yeah, this was super interesting to me because he said that he didn't hear about the murders until the next day. And he realized, oh my gosh, these are the two girls that I had driven home and I've driven home in the past. And so he was stewing on that for a little bit, but he was the one who eventually turned himself over to the police by calling the tip line saying, hey, I was the one who drove these girls home. The police tells the rideshare driver that they already knew he was the driver, but even still, he was the one who called in himself and said, hey, I was that guy. That being said, when he did that, called the tip line, he turned over all of his GPS coordinates from that night, sharing that he went to Taco Bell after dropping the girls off and then went home. And so that's the reason why he was cleared almost immediately, never been named as a suspect or a person of interest, because all the data that he provided to the police proves that he was not there at this house at the time that these murders allegedly happened.
So the other question is, as you are standing almost, I imagine, in the same spot where they were dropped off, did he mention anything about the drop-off that was unusual? Anybody in the parking lot? Did he drive into the parking lot? Did he hear something, see something, pass anybody?
Actually, the only thing he said was that he heard the frats doing their normal partying, but everything else seemed quiet, seemed normal. There were no headlights. There was no one following him. He says he's got a great memory, and he would know whether or not anyone was trailing him or if there was anything suspicious at all. As far as the drop-off, he said that he brought them right up the street here on King Road and dropped them off here at the foot of the driveway. He never pulls actually into the driveway because
All right, thank you, Southern Gal. That's 17. Only 16 more needed. Hey, Heather.
He dropped them off here on King Road. He watched them get out of the car. He did not watch them physically go into the home, but he said that he trusted that they were going to be safe because he's driven them so many other times, and he knew that these two girls were together.
He could not have imagined what was about to happen to them in the next hour or two. It's just appalling. All right, speaking of that scene behind you, you know, a couple weeks ago, all the kids' cars were still parked there, and one of those cars was the silver Range Rover.
Super chat. Wait, I just got a super chat. Hold on. Wait. Somebody just hit me with a super chat. Was that you didn't have to do that? You the big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help subscribe through chat. But use a boss and I conclude that. Super chat. Who is that you didn't have to do that? Use a big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help subscribe through chat. But you a boss and I conclude that. Thank you for the money, it goes a long way. It helps me run the channel, so you get all my thanks. Just bought me lunch to get me through the day. I appreciate the love, and I hope I can repay you for the super chat. Who is that you didn't have to do that? You a big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help subscribe to chat, but you a boss and I conclude that.
Rover that Kaylee had just purchased.
Right.
All those cars were towed away to a tow lot. We saw one with the Arizona plates that was picked up and driven off the lot. Likely Xana's, because we only imagine she's got the connection to Arizona. And then news that came as well about the Range Rover. What'd you find out?
Yeah, we just found out that the Gonsalves family has picked up that Range Rover. Specifically, it was picked up by their lawyer, Shannon Gray, and also being supervised by Moscow PD Captain Tyson Barrett. They were both on hand to pick up that car. These are photos that we got from Fox News. They were the ones who captured that moment on camera, but basically this car is no longer in the impound lot. It's back with the Gonsalves family, picked up just yesterday.
Yeah, important to note there that those are members of the Moscow Police Department. We were wondering who some of the guys were who were helping to move the snow off of the other vehicle. One of them had a gun on his belt and a big radio. It looked like it was police. Now there's confirmation that, at least in this instance, it was the Moscow Police Department helping the Gonsalves attorney, Shannon Gray, to get that car back to the family. So another story today that was just so distressing. Finally, we knew it was coming. We imagined it would happen shortly, if not, already, and it did. Someone is being sued over what's being said on the internet. So tell me the story. What's happened?
Have you guys heard about this? Some TikToker who's using spirit boxes and tarot cards to say that a professor at the school is the murderer. Well, she's finally suing her for defamation.
Yeah, this is a really interesting case that's happening. It's the very first one that we've seen. You know, we've seen Moscow PD draw a hard line saying we're not going to stand for internet sleuthing in which innocent people are thrown under the bus here. And that's exactly what we're seeing. In this case, it's an University of Idaho professor by the name of Rebecca Schofield. She is...
Super chat. Wait, I just got a super chat. Hold on. Wait. Somebody just hit me with a super chat. Was that you didn't have to do that? You the big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help subscribe through chat. But use a boss and I conclude that. Super chat. Who is that you didn't have to do that? Use a big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help subscribe through chat. But you a boss and I conclude that.
Suing a TikToker, Ashley Giard, who has posted more than a dozen videos on TikTok alleging that this University of Idaho professor had a role in these murders. Specifically, the allegations are that the professor hired someone because she had an intimate relationship with one of the victims. The professor, of course, says that this is completely false. she sent a cease and desist letter to the TikToker. That was at the very end of November, but still throughout the month of December, these TikTok videos just keep coming up, pointing to her specifically and saying that she is the one responsible for these murders. So this is the very first case, Ashley, where we're seeing a civil lawsuit being filed right now that's saying someone is defaming my character, and this is just simply untrue.
You know, I just got a copy of the lawsuit here as well. I'm just looking at it. She says that this TikToker posted more than 40 times calling her a murderer, just flat out calling her a murderer, just saying awful things, and basing a lot of this, I think, on tarot cards, on reading tarot cards. So I don't hold out a lot of hope for the TikToker on this case. And by the way, I'd also saw here there's 2 cease and desist letters. She gave her 2 chances to stop. I'll be curious to see if the police follow through, because they have been threatening. If you do this, if you harass people, if you defame them and call them murderers online, unfoundedly so, you're going to face potential criminal action. So, I mean, have they said anything? I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's only just happened with the civil case, but have they said anything about the criminal yet?
Well, I certainly wanted to know the answer to that because we did see them draw such a hard line. I reached out to the Idaho
Super chat. Wait, I just got a super chat. Hold on. Wait. Somebody just hit me with a super chat. Was that you didn't have to do that? You the big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help. Subscribe through chat. But use a boss and I conclude that. Super chat. Who is that? You didn't have to do that. Use a big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help. Subscribe through chat. But you a boss and I conclude that.
Idaho State Police about that, seeing if we're going to see criminal charges being filed against this TikToker because it was such a big deal. You know, there's been a lot of rumors and speculation that have been occurring all about this case. A lot of people that are into true crime that are trying to piece it together themselves. And inevitably that leads to false accusations. And so I asked the Idaho State Police about that. Are we going to expect criminal charges to be filed against this TikToker? I'm still waiting to hear back. So we're going to keep an eye on that one, Ashley.
Yeah, do indeed, because that's just appalling. I mean, honestly, tarot cards leads you to 40 different TikToks calling a professor a murderer. I think she's also said in her lawsuit, Alex, I've never met any of the students, and I've never met this YouTuber or this TikToker. And I think she was out of town. She wasn't even back in town till the day after the murders had happened. So. Wow. Okay, one last question, and this is another piece of news that's fascinating. We had heard from a former tenant who lived in the room behind you to the right of the front door. He had said that it was silent, that every room in the house had an individual coded lock. It was rented separately to separate rooms and separate people. They weren't a group together. And that when he was in his room, he could barely hear the television on the second floor. He could certainly never hear or yell to the people on the third floor. But now we're hearing from another tenant at a different time. And he's got a bit of a different story to tell. What is it?
Yeah, this is a young man by the name of Cole Alternator. He said he lived in this house during his junior year at the University of Idaho. He graduated just this last June, but he still spoke about what it was like living in that home. And he said that you could hear everything. You can hear footsteps on the staircase, and that it's an old, creaky house, and that really, there's no surprises there, that it's just an old house where you can hear most things. But of course, that contradicts previous reports where, you know, once you're on the lowest level, you can't hear anything. But I mean, what we got to think about when we're building additional context about this house is just because you can hear footsteps, say, on the night of the murder, that may not have triggered any alarms from the young women that were downstairs, right? This is a party house, as we've reported. And so, you know, if someone is sleeping and they hear footsteps, say, of someone who slipped in and committed these atrocious crimes, that may not raise any red flags or alarms for the young women inside, because this is just what this house was, a place where people socialized and hung out and certainly used the stairs.
Alex, I'll go one step further. If they were partying, yelling, screaming, thumping on the ceiling, it would just sound like
super chat. Wait, I just got a super chat. Hold on. Wait. Somebody just hit me with a super chat. Was that you didn't have to do that? You the big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help. Subscribe through chat. but you's a boss and I conclude that. Super chat, who is that? You didn't have to do that. You's a big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help. Subscribe, view chat, but you a boss and I conclude that. Thank you for the money, it goes a long way.
Any other Saturday night, a whole bunch of fun, and nobody would think for a minute that there was a slaughter going on in the floors above them. Just fantastic work out there, Alex. Just such great reporting. Thank you for all that. And I know it's been uncomfortably cold, so we really do appreciate it.
You got it, Ashley.
Alex Capriello doing just terrific reporting out there. I don't think I have to remind you, it has been 40 days since those kids were killed at that home on King Road. And tonight we're dissecting this case, what we know, and how police may actually be moving forward. Just ahead, some of the top homicide detectives in the business of solving murders are going to join us. Plus, with just one full day left until Christmas, we are going to be honoring those lives lost on King Road. But first, one method that detectives use to solve a crime is to look back over all of their notes for something that may see differently.
If she puts Chris McDonough on, I'm done. Done. I'll never watch her again. If he's one of her experts.
The facts of the case that we know right now. We know that these homicides occurred in the early morning hours of Sunday, November 13th. Around noon, Moscow officers received a call of an unconscious person. Officers discovered the bodies of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Goncalves inside the residence on King Road.
Just weeks ago, the 5 roommates were getting into the festive spirit, impersonating one another and posting the videos to TikTok.
Get out of here. You seriously gotta get out.
But 3 of the 5 were killed. Madison Mogan, Kaylee Goncalves, and Xana Kernodle. Kernodle's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, spent the night and was also murdered. Investigators say they were all likely stabbed in their sleep. 2 roommates apparently slept through the whole ordeal, according to officials. Upon waking up the next morning, they first called their friends over to the house for help, believing one of the victims had just passed out. Then they called 911.
At this crime scene, we collected 100.
Now, to all the people that run with this ridiculous rumor to this day about somebody passed out outside, right there just proves to you that is false. It has been said 1,000 times it's false, but people don't want to listen. So I'm going to say this again. Listen to what he just said. The roommates called friends over because the roommates believed that somebody passed out. One of the victims passed out. That is what they said. So please stop running with the rumor that someone fell out, ran outside.
And 3 pieces of individual evidence. We took approximately 4,000 photographs. We've conducted multiple 3D scans of the residence, and we have hundreds of hours used by technicians and investigators, including our forensics team and detectives from multiple agencies.
Police saying today that the investigation into the murders of 4 University of Idaho students is progressing. Law enforcement conducting 150 interviews and processing more than 1,000 tips. Among them, that 21-year-old Kaylee Goncalves had a stalker.
When I spoke to the prosecutor, he was very clear with me that they still have no suspects in this case.
Oh, Billy, I agree with you 120% that something is sketchy. Something is very sketchy about it. But we got to separate fact from fiction.
Are there persons of interest and people that the investigators are looking at?
I think it's fair to say that there have been people of interest to the investigators, and everyone that they've identified so far, they've been able to exonerate. Perhaps exonerate isn't the best word, but they've been able to eliminate them as being an actual suspect.
An emotional vigil remembering the University of Idaho murder victims. With the killer still on the loose, security was tight with metal detectors and police closely watching from the ground and from balconies inside the arena. The parents of the victims are distraught.
I would like to start by saying my name is Stacy Chapin. I'm Ethan's mom. The circumstances that bring us here tonight, they're terrible. The hardest part, we cannot change the outcome.
This morning, there's new information that could help solve the murders of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho. Police are looking for a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra just like this, but we don't know the license plate number. Investigators believe the driver was near the crime scene on November 13th, and they think the driver could have critical information about the case.
The tips and leads have just shown us that that car was there in that immediate area. So whoever was in that car may know who might have owned that car. Any of that information is extremely valuable to us right now because it could be really significant in solving this case.
Kaylee Gonsalves was supposed to be among those in caps and gowns today, including many fellow members of the Greek system.
I'm really glad that the president brought them up, especially Kaylee. She was supposed to be here, so just thinking about her.
It is eerily quiet at the University of Idaho. With graduation over and most finals moved online, there are almost no students on campus. 1 month after the brutal murder of 4 students, and their families are anxious for any information. Victim Kaylee Gonsalves' parents met with the investigators just yesterday, according to their attorney. Have you or the family received any new updates on the investigation?
Well, part of our delay was we met with the investigators yesterday. The theme of the meeting was 2 things, was accountability and communication.
Attorney Shannon Gray says the family wants a more consistent stream of information from police. He says most of their questions about the investigation have still gone unanswered, but they are hopeful police are doing the right things. Hard to imagine what those families are going through, not only losing loved ones, but also just the frustration and anger that a suspect has still not been caught more than 1 month after the murders. As for that white car seen on video, it's grainy video. It's hard to tell whether that is actually even the model of the car that police are looking for.
We've said all along that we need people to be vigilant. We need people to pay attention because we're not sure exactly where the individual is.
And still to come, they may not have the killer, but after 40 days of investigating, there is a very good chance that Moscow police and the state police and the FBI have what they need, not just to find the killer, but to prosecute him, convict him, and put him behind bars. It's called evidence. And to date, they say they've got up to 113 solid pieces of it. When we come back, some of the best minds in the business join me to sort through everything from loose hairs to ring cams and how all those pieces of the puzzle just might fit together.
We'll see. We shall see. If Jack D had been there with Kaylee and Maddie, who knows, he could have been victim too. Oh, absolutely. But I'm telling you, Millennial, half of the people watching this case do not agree with us. Every single poll that I've seen, half of them welcome giving payback. Almost every one that I've seen, at least half the people believe Jack D did it. And I just don't get how. Yeah, but it might, Southern Gal, I thought of that too, but it's very possible that they're talking about 113 pieces after all the ones that they eliminated already. We don't know if it's 113 in total or 113 after what they eliminated. Ooh, he's cute. Sorry, I got sidetracked. He was cute. It's 4 people they need evidence on, not just one. Thank you, Southern Gal. You just love the song. I know you do.
Super chat. Wait, I just got a super chat. Hold on. Wait. Somebody just hit me with a super chat. Was that you didn't have to do that? You the big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help subscribe through chat, but you's a boss and I conclude that.
Hey, Jerry. Because of that Adam Everything video, they started thinking Jack did it out of... Yeah, I just don't think that that's correct. I really, truly don't. I'm not saying it's out, but nobody has even brought up an Adam. Nobody even talked about Adam. Hey, Monica, she could just be drunk and told Adam stuff. Hey, K-Rox, and told Adam stuff. It could have absolutely nothing to do with Kaylee. And I just think people are too into Kaylee. And I don't know if that's her father. I don't know what it is. I bet that will make people super chat for the heck of it more often. I know. I'm glad I found that song. I don't think that's it. I just don't think it has anything to do with Kaylee. But I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't. For what they charge for Grand Cherokees, those cars are now like 50 grand. See, they don't even put the price on it anymore. It's not known to be 100% factual. Unfortunately, people lie. Oh, people do lie all the time. I don't know how it's been this long and they still have not arrested anyone. Because it's not anyone obvious. That's why. I mean, that's what I think. If it was someone like Jack D, Adam, someone in their life, I absolutely believe they would have been caught already.
Can be as small as a molecule or as big as a Range Rover, as lasting as a photograph or as fleeting as a memory. It's the stuff that sends guilty people to prison every day all around the world. So, of course, investigators want to get as much of it as they can, as soon as they can, and then safeguard it as best they can. In the case of the Idaho massacre, police say they've collected 113 pieces of physical evidence from that crime scene. But if you think that sounds remarkably low, as I do, there is also the digital evidence. Everything from emails to GPS to surveillance video and those statements given to the police by witnesses, victims' acquaintances, their relatives, you name it. One critical piece of hard evidence that we know the Moscow police do not have is the murder weapon. Can they track down the killer without it? We also know that a glove sat ignored for days, potentially, in the snow outside of the victim's house until a bystander, who happened to be a homicide detective visiting the scene, pointed it out to a patrol officer. Well, it's hard to imagine that that's going to turn up as Exhibit A in any murder trial. Joining me now with their insights on all of this are retired Houston homicide detective Phil Waters, FBI veteran and former head of the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, Mike Harrigan, and Caitlin Becker. She's the senior reporter at thedailymail.com. Welcome to all three of you, and thank you for being here on this Friday night. Phil, I'm going to begin with you and the digital evidence, because you can break that down into a whole lot of categories like body cam, Ring doorbell, security cam. But the big question is, do we really think that surveillance video is going to be the break in this case, as it has been in so many others?
I don't think there's any telling at this point what is going to be the break in the case, because you have such a massive scene. You've got so many pieces of evidence that I don't think one in distinction is going to be the one that breaks it. It may come down to breaking the case. It just comes about with a simple phone call.
Yeah, and a tip, because that's coming in to the tune of over 10,000. Mike, let's talk about the other aspect of digital, the text messages, the emails, the social media, which is, really kind of new in the last decade for crime fighting, the Wi-Fi routers, and of course, GPS that might be on those cars. How much faith and stock do we put in those parts of digital media in helping to solve this case?
Well, they can be part of the case. I mean, they can be a critical part. Maybe you think of the volume of that information. When you're talking digital, you could have terabytes of information that has to be gone through by analysts in support of the investigation, trying to identify what might be relevant so the investigators can look at it. I mean, that's a very time-consuming and exhaustive process.
Do you think he read all those books behind him? And that girl from the Daily Mail, she's like breathtaking. I can't stop staring at her.
Process that can take quite a bit of time.
Caitlin, the Daily Mail has been way out front on this story, just really breaking incredible scoops. And one of the things you were able to see, very legally, I may add, in case anybody's concerned, from behind the crime scene tape, your photographer was able to see inside the windows of some critical parts of the house. And I think what was most telling about the pictures was what it was not in the pictures. So walk me through how surprising it was to see the house in the condition that it was in.
I was shocked when I saw this. What you're seeing are images taken from outside of the house of that second floor, which would technically be the ground floor if you're looking from the back side of the house. This was the floor where Xana and Ethan were sleeping and were ultimately murdered. What you see is a messy college house. You see cups and junk and dirty dishes. What you don't see is blood. You don't see the house torn up. You don't see tables flipped over. Not seeing blood so close to where we know two of those people were murdered was really, really shocking to me. And I think it's really important, as you noted, that these were legally taken. And of course, we were standing outside of the house when we took them. But it's so important to us to put them out there because maybe you or I don't see something that looks amiss, but maybe someone who's been to the house will see something that looks amiss, and that could lead investigators to some of that relevant evidence that one of your other guests was just referring to.
That's critical. And also dispel some of the internet criticism that's been, how on earth could they not have seen a bloodbath when those roommates came upstairs? Maybe the bloodbath did not exist in some of those common spaces, but did exist behind the locked, closed doors where presumably those bodies were found. So, Phil, about the forensics, I cannot even imagine the process that is ongoing right now to separate and exclude all the different sources of DNA, all the different fibers, all the different hairs, all the different fingerprints of people who have legally been in that house, not just this school season, but all the past school seasons and all the parties and fun, the guests, the friends, the family members, the former tenants. How do the police separate all those people and exclude them to try to find that one foreign source of DNA or fiber or hair that might be the killers?
Well, actually, that is a great question. And I would explain it this way. It is not like, excuse me, it is not like on television. They don't have a whole bunch of evidence and they plug it into a magic computer somewhere and all of a sudden they're spitting out pictures and identifications and addresses and so forth. What happens in this, especially in this type of a scene where you have two homicide scenes contained in one structure, and then you have a third portion of those scenes, which is going to be the path that was taken from the second floor to the third floor and back out of the structure. So it's a very complicated scene. There's a lot of moving parts in this thing. And when they gather all of the evidence they can, the physical evidence, the trace evidence, the DNA evidence, fingerprint evidence, they're going to have to process each one of those things in the context in which they were taken. Now, the DNA stuff is going to be, this is the way I have done it, and Mike's probably familiar with this, is that you're going to take your DNA evidence and you're going to meet the detective, or the detectives are going to meet with the technician that is going to process that piece of evidence. And there's going to be a discussion about what part of this evidence that we're looking at is the most probative part. And that's what they're going to target. They don't just walk in and they have a piece of evidence sitting in front of them and then just start swabbing DNA stuff all over the place. So it's a very focused area that you're going to be looking at that's going to get the most return for that DNA evidence. And then it's going to be processed, and that takes time. I have seen in my own career as much as 6 months to a year to determine DNA processing to an identifiable profile. Now,
and that might be from a house that doesn't have this many, foreign sources coming in and coming out. And yeah,
exactly. That's from one scene with one body and it's taken that long to get it. Now, I would imagine, I've also seen it where that has been ratcheted up because of the circumstances. And I believe in this case, what I'm hoping for is that when they got the FBI involved so quickly, got the state so quickly involved, the FBI
That
has
they
an evidence.
ratcheted it up.
They have
Yep.
an evidence response team. I've used them. They're great. They process those scenes. And then I would think that the processing is being farmed out to the state level and to the FBI, and it's a collaborative effort to get that stuff done.
And with so many nervous people, they're hoping to get those answers quickly. I have to leave it there. Phil Waters, Mike Harrigan, Caitlin Becker, thank you all. And my best of the holidays to you as well. Thank you for being with us on this story.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well. You know, everything that we've just been talking about, collecting the evidence, testing the evidence, matching up the evidence with the suspects, that is hard work. When we come back, what might prove to be even more complicated, the theories. Everybody has one or several, and anybody can join in. Somebody is going to turn out to be right. We're going to break down some of those theories, brainstorms that you might have had yourself, and some you may never have thought of after the break.
After the break. Yeah, so what I was saying before, I think it was Jen that said something, that asked this. That's what I'm saying. They have all this DNA. I think the 113 is unidentifiable DNA, that they've already ruled out all the DNA and all the stuff from everyone else. And the 113 is what is separate from all of it. One thing I don't know about DNA, which I'm actually pretty curious about, does DNA get like lessened? Like if I'm in a house a month ago, would that DNA, you too, Daniel, would that DNA, would they be able to decipher DNA from that night and DNA from 3 weeks ago? And I haven't heard anyone ask an expert that, and it's something I'm very curious about. Because if that's the case, they can rule out so many people, and they can rule out so many samples by that point, because they don't need DNA from a month ago. They need DNA from that night. No, you can't separate it, because that's the one thing I've been really curious on, if they can tell the difference. Because that would be wild. I mean, that would make things so much easier. Because I even tried looking it up and I couldn't get a steady answer. And I was like, man. So, by the way, I did say that if I got 10 members, I was going to give away a candle. So, since I'm not going to be here for a few days, what you guys are going to have to do is I'm going to make a post in members only, and you guys have to comment. Or on a video that's members only. Because I have to do something for members only. So a member will win a candle. Brown's chicken murder in Palatine, Illinois was solved years later from a saved chicken bone killer chewed. No shit. Yo, I heard I was watching a crazy case this morning or yesterday morning about a woman who wanted her husband killed, and she killed her husband, or she met a guy and had him kill her husband. The guy was like an ex-cop. It was an interesting story. Don't ask me details because I don't remember. Tanya Sullivan was one of them. She was the killer. I mean, the woman who wanted her husband killed. It was really sad. And it was in 1993 or 1994 or something. She ended up getting life in prison. But the guy who shot the guy ended up killing himself. Because he felt guilty because he was lied to. Telling you, find some good movies on Lifetime. I can't believe how much I still have to do tonight. And I'm like avoiding it like a plague. Yeah, there were two people. It was Tanya Sullivan in Pennsylvania and Cherie Miller. Yeah, that works.
I'm just wearing it for tomorrow.
Okay. I thought you were wearing jammies.
No, I want to be cute.
Okay. Nope. Bamf is back. Hey, Liz.
Dartboard. Last night on News Nation, Chief James Fry suggested the truth may lie somewhere in between. Take a listen.
Is there any way of knowing right now, and again, I know there's things you can't say, but of whether this murderer is still in the area or may be far away by now?
Like I said, we're not.
Can I just say, Brian Enton has very kissable looking lips, just saying. Anyone that disagrees with me, let me know, but he has very kissable looking lips.
Disclosing any of that, but there's some of that we just don't know at this point. We're still trying to put everything together. We've said all along that we need people to be vigilant. We need people to pay attention because we're not sure exactly where the individual is.
We're not sure exactly where the individual is, which could mean that police have a suspect and have lost track of him, or they still have no idea, but it sure does sound like it's one person that they're tracking, not more, the individual, he said. So that leaves plenty of room for guesswork on the part of, well, just about anybody. And face it, you've had your theories too. Was this the work of a serial killer, a jilted lover, a random home invader? There are people whose profession it is to sort between those very possibilities. Robin Dreeke is a retired FBI special agent and head of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program. You know his work from the hit TV show Criminal Minds. Also, Chris Mahandi is a forensic psychologist with more than 25 years of experience assessing and managing violent behavior. And you may know him from his popular investigation discovery show, Most Evil. Let me start with you, if I can, Dr. Mahandi. You've come face to face. Oh, we have Casey Jordan, too. I'm so sorry, Casey. All of a sudden, I just noticed you were missing from my list. Casey Jordan is well known on this program and many others for her. She's a criminologist, investigative profiler, behavioral analyst as well. Okay, so Dr. Mahandi, you've come face to face with a lot of serial killers. How much weight do you actually put in that theory that this was the work of a serial killer?
Well, first, I wanted to say this is a bit of a reunion between Robin Dreeke and myself. We used to work together back in the day, and I'm glad he's here, and thank you for having me. I think it's a viable theory. There are a couple different categories of serial killers, the Ted Bundy types who, target people because they enjoy killing. And then there are the more mentally disturbed types that are operating on an agenda that might be psychosis driven. Somebody like Herb Mullen, who in the 70s killed 13 people because he thought by sacrificing people, he would avoid a catastrophic earthquake in Northern California. So I do think this.
Okay, I just want to say, speaking of theories, Stoner had put this in, it was either Stoner or Crystal, put this in Patreon, that somebody thinks that the knife was possibly placed there, and that's why the blood was dripping down.
Christmas?
No,
Nicer?
I wouldn't wear that.
Nicer?
What?
Nicer?
Yeah.
Also, what case are you talking about?
What?
What case are you talking about?
The Idaho 4?
What's that? Because I might have heard about it on TikTok.
University of Idaho. 4 students were brutally murdered.
I did hear about that. I know nothing about it, but I did hear about it.
There you go. Nice jammies.
Thanks. They're so cute. I shouldn't bring the boots because there's going to be no place to wear them, correct?
Yeah, we're not really going out.
Did you say wear them?
I mean, you could show them to Jared.
I'm not going to bring them if I'm not going to wear them.
Okay. I don't know. You might. I don't know.
So, nicer.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear that. Sorry, everybody's packing. But someone said that the knife could have been placed in the rafter or something. That's why the blood is coming down. The only reason I disagree with that is I think that the police would have caught that, or they would have found that, because I'm sure they looked in depth there. So that's why I don't believe that. But it's a good thought.
This is a viable theory. I'm sure the police and FBI are looking into it and comparing cross county and state lines, because if it is this kind of person, there probably would be other events that may have similarities that they would be looking for, not just DNA, but maybe behavioral patterns.
So, Robin, if it is true, if it is a serial killer, what sort of methodical and predatory behavior that you're seeing, at least in what we know about this crime scene, what does that tell us about this particular killer?
Yeah, thanks, Ashley, and hi, Dr. Mahandi. One thing that all predators are doing and will always do, and that is they're going to do all they can to stay safe and accomplish their mission. And so this predator was very contemplative in the venue, the time of day, and the location and what was going on in that environment. And so they had a lot of control on that. What they didn't have control on is what the victims react like once being attacked. And so they're going to maximize their success with the least amount of threat to their own personal safety. So I think they really knew what they were doing when they chose this venue.
So, Casey, weigh in on the possibility that this might have been, I don't know, maybe a former lover or a love triangle. What's the possibility in your mind that this actually could be a killer from within the inner circle and maybe romantically involved in some way?
I think all of us started out with that as a possible theory, but there are so many things about this which just don't really fit. Just keep in mind, 4 sleeping people with a knife and no sexual assault. Now, if just one of these young women were killed, we would automatically go look at the ex-boyfriends. And so we have to start with that. But I was catering to that for the first week. Now that we are past week 6, we really do have to step back and say, even though technically it's a mass murder, the psychology is really that of a serial killer. And it's going to be most likely what I would call the advent. I don't know that this person has done it before, but there is so much fantasy that seems to be wrapped up in it. It's a process-focused thing, not an act-focused. Death wasn't the point. It wasn't a vendetta. It was the stabbing motion. Very likely it was piquerism. There was a sexual undertone to it. And you look at these young women and they're sexually attractive. So you think about this, and I agree with my colleagues here. The psychology really does match that of a serial killer. Again, if he hasn't done it before, and this is the advent, we've seen it with Danny Rawling. We have seen it with BTK, Dennis Rader. We talked about Ted Bundy. He did it in the middle of his serial killer spree. It is entirely possible. It's an outlier. It's very rare, but it's very possible.
So, Dr. Mahandi, the third theory here, the stalker theory, there's been talk about the stalker. The police said they couldn't nail it down, but we met a manager at a vape store who said that the girls were in all the time and they'd mentioned the stalker. What are the chances that this might be a stalker who turned violent?
Well, I think that's another very viable theory, particularly given the victimology. You've got three females and a male, attractive, socially visible. And you've got several different types of stalkers that are potential culprits. You've got, an intimate stalker, somebody has had a former intimate relationship with, embittered, striking back. You have an acquaintance, somebody that might be, part of the entourage or at the edge of it and knows some of the people, but is harboring deep-seated animosity, feels aggrieved somehow. And then there's the private stranger stalker, somebody that's in the environment of the school, maybe watching from a short distance away, not really known to them per se, but tracking, comfortable in the environment. And any one of those 3 types of stalking patterns could evolve into something like this based on the degree of aggrievedness the person feels.
Okay, Robin, I've only got 20 seconds, but I want to get your thoughts on whether you think this could be an incel.
Possibly, it's kind of collaborating what everyone's been saying so far. What's really striking to this, and going to what Casey's saying, and also Dr. Mahandi, the violence of action that this took and the personalization of using a fixed blade knife on not just one person, but 4, shows a deep intent for what they were doing. And as I said already, the deep personalization.
Well, I can't thank all three of you enough. Casey Jordan, Robin Dreek, and Chris Mahandi. Just excellent analysis, and I'm looking forward to having you back on. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley.
Still to come this hour, the people whose names and lives we should not even know. People
To the river and just hung out every chance we got.
They went to other countries together. Karen took them to Hawaii together. We took them to Mexico together. They went to college together. They went to high school together. They lived in their own apartment together. They were sisters.
She was so positive and lighthearted and understood the gift of life more than anyone I know. I remember her getting so mad at me for caring about the little things that didn't matter. She would always tell me she wouldn't know what to do without me, and now I have to live this life without her.
And she taught me a lot of stuff. She taught me how to be a dad. And I didn't know that until she was gone, you know?
Santa, you will not be forgotten. You have impacted so many lives and have given people so much love. I hope I can make you proud and try to leave an impact on this world and on people like you did.
He had such an infectious smile and a charismatic personality. And if you knew anything about Xana as well, they were very similar in how they acted together.
They were always so happy, and the way she would talk and smile about him was something I've never seen her do before. She truly loved him so much, and I know he had so much love for her.
We are eternally grateful that we spent so much time with him. And I want to remind you that that's the most important message that we have for you and your families, is to make sure that you spend as much time as possible with those people, because time is precious and it's something you can't get back.
Restless nights fogging up your day?
Well, that was crushing. It is so incredibly sad, Daniel. I totally agree. She's right, though. Love you, kids. Don't take advantage of them, that they're always going to be there. Because that can change in a blink of an eye. I agree, Liz. And I usually don't spend this much time on a case, even if it's unsolved. But I really think a lot of it, and it's not because I'm getting great numbers, but I really think it's because I have 2 kids leaving for college in the fall, and I'm scared to death. You know, even though I went through college, most people went through college. You know, I went away to school after high school. You know, all my friends went away. My brother went, like, my parents went away. Like, it's scary. You send a kid off to college, you don't think all 4 of them are going to be murdered. And I really think that's why I'm so still in this case. And I think about it. I think about it at night. I think about it when I turn off my computer. And no, I'm not emotionally attached, but I really think it's what's kept me on this case so long. It's like I said, it's not my big numbers. I have lower numbers in this case than people with like 1,000 subs. Make that make sense. If I wasn't so strong, I'd probably give up. I'd be like, what happened? This person has to be found ASAP. I'm sorry if it's... I agree with that, Daniel. And I thought of that too. What if it is a serial killer? What if he goes to another state? What if he, you know, or even if it's not a serial killer, if he gets away with it once, who'd say he's not going to do it again? Just for the thrill of it. Girls' school, but it was next to a state university. It is tough. I'm more worried about Phoenix than her. Well, Sage wants to stay close, but Phoenix is going away. See, sissy? That's what I'm saying. I know, Crosshatch. And I never will. But it does hurt. I mean, believe me, I've thought about it. And then I'm like, nah, I couldn't even do it. I couldn't even pretend to do it. Hey, Janessa. This hit me harder because it makes my blood run. It does. It's scary. I don't understand your numbers either, but they are loyals that are here no matter what case you cover. And true. But I don't get the numbers. I'm telling you, I have the lowest numbers of anybody covering this case. And I don't know why. I laugh. When I see other numbers, I just laugh. I'm like, I'm just accepting the fact that it's not happening. Thank you, Jen. Oh.
Super chat. Wait, I just got a super chat. Hold on. Wait. Somebody just hit me with a super chat. Was that you didn't have to do that? You the big dog supporter and you prove that. There's plenty other ways to help subscribe through chat, but you's a boss and I conclude that.
And I have like the coolest fucking super chat song out of anyone I've ever heard. So there's that. And my numbers are still low. Sissy, I'm sure it does. It's a club I don't ever want to belong to.
Welcome back. It's Friday night, and it is, it's one of those Friday nights where if you have kids, they're probably freaking out, right? Because you know what's coming, right? Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. So I get it. I know how everybody is across the nation right now. If you're trying to stay warm, if you're trying to fight the traffic, last minute shopping tomorrow, or if you're just trying to fight the cold and the ugliness on the streets, we're all with you. We at News Nation want to just tell you how much we appreciate the fact that you watch us. And I want to tell you something about that, because with 2 sleeps left until Christmas morning, I don't know why I always get jazzed about it, but I do. But there was something I wanted to just bring to your attention. 2 years ago this week, I got a little Christmas present that turned out to be a very big Christmas present. The guy who started this network, News Nation, his name is Perry Sook. Really nice guy. And I'm not saying that to be a brown noser. He actually really is a super nice boss. He asked me personally if I wanted to come and be a part of his new venture. And he explained it to me as a cable news network that just tells the news without the agenda. Wow, sign me up, right? It's what I've been doing for the last 30 years. It's exactly what we need. I thought, how refreshing. Yes, I will do this because Fox and CNN and MSNBC have pretty much dug themselves in on political platforms. And what that means is that viewers like you and me, we got to switch back and forth to try to get the full story. You know, the stuff that the biased guys just conveniently leave out of their script. So, yeah, what a project. And guess what? Turns out we are growing like gangbusters. So here's a gift that you can give your friends and your family around the Christmas table. Let them know that you're watching us on News Nation and that they might actually want to check us out as well. It is news that's good for you for a change. It's not going to make you angry at your sister or your uncle. It's news for all America. So we are so happy that you've joined us. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you and your family and your friends. I'm going to take a week off and see my family and my friends, but I want you to have a wonderful season, and I'll see you in the new year.
What? She's taking the week off? What are we going to do without Banfield next week? Man, it's going to be a long week without Banfield. She can't take a week off. Man, no wonder she was so happy. She took a week off. All right. As promised, let's do some fake-ass spirit box. All right. Here we go. Let me pull it up. Spirit box. All right. Here we go. Then I got to get back to packing. All right. What do we want to know? Why not recording? Why not working? Oh my God. Oh. Okay. Now, also, do we want to hear a child's female, a child male, a child mixed gender, a male, a middle-aged female, middle-aged male, other female, older male, older female 2, older male 2, older female 3, older female 4, older male 3, older male 4, young female 2, young male 1, or young male 2. Because I can get a spirit to talk to me in any of those voices. We'll do older male. Okay. Ethan, are you with us? Is this the Idaho 4? Is anyone from the Idaho 4 with us tonight? Please let us know. Well. Okay. Ethan, was that you? Did you guys understand that? Okay. Xana, Maddie, or Kaylee, are you guys with us? Okay, that didn't come up anything. Xana, Kaylee, or Maddie, are you guys with us? I heard yes. Who is here with us? We need a name. I hear Dayton screaming. Hold on, let me make it louder. Who are you guys here with us? We want to talk about the Idaho 4, the 4 people that were murdered in Idaho, the University of Idaho. Is anyone of you with us? Yeah, I don't know why I'm not getting feedback all of a sudden. The other night, I got tons of feedback by saying nothing. I'm seriously not getting feedback. Nobody's talking. Is anyone here with us? Can somebody speak with us? Oh, can somebody speak with us? We need name. We need somebody to let us know that you're here. Dude, this is weird. I'm not joking. This is weird. Because I had like a ton. Oh, wait, hold on. I accidentally turned it off. Change to a man's voice? All right. That one's far away. Is there Christmas in heaven? Are you guys celebrating Christmas on Christmas Eve? Now it's not saying nothing. Let's try a child's voice. All right, check this out though. So you guys don't think I'm crazy. Let's go. Oh my God, I can't even get the recordings. Even the recordings are blank.
So I'm testing to show spirit boxes are fake and how they get different noises and voices.
That was me talking. These recordings had tons of voices. And now all of a sudden, like, nothing is coming up.
So I'm testing to show spirit boxes are fake.
That's the one I just played. Who's Craig? Let me try that. Is Craig here? We want to talk to Craig. Is Craig here? Nothing. Dude, this is fucked up. I'm telling you. I am telling you guys, this thing went on and on and on and on the other night. I didn't even have to say a word. And now it's not going off my vibration, which is really fucking me up. No joke. Because it's supposed to go off my vibration and automatically say something if I speak. That's how these things work. The fact that it's not giving me anything is starting to freak me out a little. Because I'm giving whole sentences and it's not saying anything. So now I'm a little freaked out. No joke. It's not doing it. I know I did piss it off. You think I should shut it down and restart? Let me try it. Something else. Hold on. See, if I change the voice, then I get something. Hello, ghosts. Are you here? Are you with us? We're looking for Craig. Craig, are you here? Oh. That's it. We're getting somewhere. I heard Laura. You see what I mean, though? I don't even have to talk. All I have to do is slide this button over and change the voice, and miraculously they talk. Nah, Crystal, I'm well protected. Believe that. No, you didn't. Save Robbie got blocked? He didn't get blocked. But yeah, guys, I don't believe spirit boxes are real at all. I don't. Because I can change that to any man, any voice, any child. And if you have a better spirit box, you can program all of those ahead of time. So yeah, I don't believe in spirits. I mean, I believe in spirits. I don't believe in spirit boxes. I think they're total nonsense. Now, one thing I won't fuck with, you'll never see me fuck with the Ouija board. That I will not fuck with. Nope, 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 nope. That's what I'm saying, Crystal. I just said, no, you didn't. I didn't even see him in here. But, yeah, I would, you'll never see me fuck with the Ouija board. Something about it just freaks me out. And I don't know if they're real or not, but there's something about it that just, I can't do it. I just won't do a Ouija board. And something in my gut has always told me don't fuck with the Ouija board. I won't even have, like, it in the house or anything. I don't know why. I just, something about it freaks me out. Maybe I watch too many movies. I don't know. No spirit box, no board. Oh, I love scary movies. My messages are disappearing on my end when I type. No one has even seen you. Oh, I love scary movies. Yeah, I don't believe in spirit boxes. I mean, like, I want to believe, like, I would love to believe. And I probably would believe if something traumatic happened. Or until I was shown proof. Has anyone seen Save Robbie in here? Nobody has seen him, right? Like, I'm not crazy? No one has seen you. I've never watched it. No, really, sissy? Oh, I love scary movies. I love that adrenaline. I'm telling you, Diana, over Halloween, I was going to buy something that had a Ouija board on it. I said, no, I can't do it. Something about it just says stay away from it. Like that gut feeling, like, just stay away from it. And I've listened. You know how they tell you, listen to that little voice inside of you? It has never failed me wrong. No, but I don't, it's Sweet Count. I'm saying I haven't even seen him. You got hit after hit, not jumbled words, 10 in a row, and then one hit. Yeah, I haven't seen Robbie either. All right, let's see. It was during Banfield. I came in tonight, but I haven't seen Robbie. Nope. I don't see Robbie. All right, hold on, Robbie. You know, I haven't checked my block list. Maybe someone's blocking people. And I don't know it. Hey, Grandma Rose. Hold on. Let me find out what's going on here. While I'm checking it out, feel free to hit that thumbs up. I haven't even gained 1 sub tonight. How sad is that? All right. Okay, she shouldn't be blocked. Unblock her. Alright, this is like too much to go through. Alright. Alright, Robbie, try now. Hey, Kaz, Merry Christmas Eve. That's right, it's officially Christmas Eve. We are officially there. Hold on. Thank God it's over. All right. All right, Robbie, try now. There you are. Now I see you. I don't know what happened. There were like 500 people on my block list. I don't know what happened. But trolls, watch out. Or mods, watch out, I should say. Trolls be coming. Alright, guys, I gotta finish packing. And I gotta run another load of laundry. No, I wish I was going to Florida. We're going somewhere cold. I'm going to Illinois. Brr! And I'll come back with my hair done. Woo woo. Look for Whistle Down or wait, but I just unblocked everyone. Why, Whistle Down said she was blocked too? Talk to myself off. I hear you, Robbie. I totally hear that. Ah. All right, but I'm going to get up before I get too tired. If I don't speak to you guys, which I'm very well might go live after the kids go to sleep at night, depending if I'm up. But I want to wish all you guys, if I don't speak to you, have a wonderful Christmas. This is going to be the first year that I don't go live on Christmas morning. And it's the first year in a long time. So I want to thank everybody who got the kids something. I want to, Debbie especially, when I pulled out, their gifts and stuff, I'm like, I am not lugging 2 refrigerators in from the garage. So I told him, I said, your refrigerators are in the garage. I said, we're not bringing them in. So Debbie, special thank you for that. And that's it. Merry Christmas, everyone. I will post on my community page when we make it there tomorrow in this freezing fucking cold. And I can't stop yawning. And it'll be nice to take a few days off, spend time with family and friends and kiddos. And I can't believe it's Christmas, but I'm glad it's almost over. Woohoo! And then my birthday is in a week and a half. God, I can't believe my birthday is in a week and a half. Another year. Sucks. Oh, my Cash App. I forgot. Hold on. Why, do I have to accept it? Woohoo! Thank you. There'll be gas money going down there tomorrow. The weather is crazy cold. It's getting warmer, though. Today was going to be the coldest day. Right now, it's 9 degrees here. Love you too, Rad. Right now, it's 9 degrees here. But tomorrow, let's see. Attempted murder suspect in Huntsville Walmart shooting found in Wisconsin. Mother looking for vanished kids at Miami airport. 4 dead pile up with at least 46 vehicles in Ohio. Shit, a lot of shit going on in Disney. North Alabama customers asked to reduce electric. Two teens arrested for murder of a 12-year-old. Damn. All right, let's get back to weather here. Oh, man. Look at this map. Check out this map. Oh, you guys can see it. Red is extreme. Extreme cold all the way down to Florida. Well. Oh, we're in super extreme. Dangerously cold, drifting snow. Until 7 a.m. Saturday. We're not leaving till like afternoon. If you must travel, keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in your vehicle in case of an emergency. Dang. Yeah, you're safe in Cali. It's -2. Ouch. Damn. Oshkosh is good. Yeah, it's extreme everywhere. Canada's not too bad. That's crazy. Where's Chicago? Dayton. Kentucky. Indiana. There we go, Pontiac. Damn. It's cold. 34 Celsius. That would be nice. I know, right, Crystal? I can't. I'm trying to do this. I mean, look at this map. It's wild. It's like the whole country is in a fucking deep freeze. There's nowhere that it's mild. Arizona. There you got moderate. Oh, that was Pontiac, Michigan? Pontiac, Illinois. See, it won't be too bad. When we get there, it'll be like 19 degrees. Yay. More than 1 million without powder due to bomb cycle? So that's wild, though. Illinois is not an extreme, and we are. Damn, it's cold. Hopefully it snows on Christmas. No, not Chicago. Marion, Illinois. So then it warms up, though. And then we drive home. Oh, we're getting snow Monday? That's not good. So yeah, then it warms up. Then by us... Yeah, it's in the 30s. It's weird because like Christmas Eve, it's going to be like 9 degrees. New Year's Eve, it's going to be 66 degrees. Make that make sense. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, all right. I have got to get laundry done and finish packing, and I got to get up early, get ready. I got to go get my nails done, and then we're out. So I will see you all either Monday night, or maybe I'll go live in the car if the kids are sleeping. Who knows? We'll take it as it goes. But I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. If I don't hear from you, if you don't see me, but I will let everyone know that we made it down there perfectly okay. And that's it. I will see you guys later. Again, Patreon's members, I'll speak to you guys. I am going to do like a 5-minute video either today or tomorrow for members only, and someone's going to win a candle. Someone's going to win, a member's going to win a candle. And that's it. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful night. Patreons, I'll see you guys in a little while. And thank you guys for all the gifts. Thank you guys for Super Chat. Thank you guys for the support and for having enough intelligence to be here and not somewhere else. And that's it. Guys, have a wonderful Christmas. And I will see you guys later. Peace.